The Aldebaran myth. The Aldebaran myth is the alleged origin story behind the Thule Society, or the secret society behind the Third Reich. It is one of the earliest examples of the alien god ideology, or the Mars origin myth. This ideology, or this origin story, stands out particularly because it specifically emphasizes beings from other planets as being primarily physical. Before that time, what we call aliens were considered primarily spiritual beings or interdimensionals that could at times physically manifest or physically overlap with our world. This is part of how our Earth actually evolves, through these periods where other planetary spheres can overlap with our own. We would have perhaps also called them angels or demons as well. In classical esoterica, they were called beings from other spheres. We can see this in theosophy and anthroposophy. And each star and sphere represented a developmental period of the Earth and the Sun. Even the fixed stars outside of our solar system were other developmental schemes related to our own solar system. Thus, we understood that while a being could manifest on Earth or around the Earth physically, there were specific laws and principles that we could use to understand it. If an interdimensional being manifests physically, that doesn't mean that they're an exclusively physical being, or that they're actually a part of the material plane as we know it, or part of our Earth. There was, and still is, a spiritual science to the cosmos. Today, with the phenomenon of aliens or ETs or interdimensionals, we see the same phenomenon of the past labeled in a very different way, often laden with heavy military and government information and terminology via the ufology angle with very little actual esoteric substance. This is quite backwards for a topic that is fundamentally esoteric in nature, and it illustrates how deeply we have sunk into scientific materialism. Clearly, the most concerning issue with this materialist approach is that without the spiritual science behind contact, humanity will believe anything. They will base their understandings on only the most material manifestations, which is really the least important when it comes to honest analysis of this phenomenon. Thus, this belief system, the alien god belief system, or the Aldebaran myth, or the Mars origin myth, perhaps marks a low point in humanity's development, the sinking into such an intense materialistic mindset that nothing else is considered, that the spiritual world doesn't really functionally exist. The point where all interdimensional phenomenon is seen only in its most material representations. Ultimately, everything and everyone becomes alien to us when we have this perspective. This has been your Mars Mysteries Minute.